All right, well, good evening, everyone. We do have a quorum present, so I'm going to go ahead and call to order our regular session of November 1, 2016. I apologize for being a little more casual than normal. Been sitting out in front of the early polling station all day and a little dusty, so I apologize. First thing we have on the agenda this evening is the opening prayer and the pledges of allegiance to the flags of the United States and the state of Texas, and Councilman Azuz will lead us this evening. If you'll join me in standing, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please stand and pray with me. Lord, we come stand before you this evening, and we ask you to guide us and help us through this coming up election and help us to make the right decision for our great nation. Lord, we ask us to help us also unite after the election. We ask you, please, Lord, in the name of your Son, to help us protect our city and improve upon whatever needs to be done in our city. We help us, Lord, protect our police department, our fire people, and our military. Lord, we thank you. Lord, we ask you to keep us out of harm's way. Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Thank you, Councilman Azuz. Next thing we have on the agenda this evening is new employee recognitions and facility services. I have a couple of new folks. Who's leading us here? Mr. Harshman, good evening.
Good evening, Council. Mr. Kessel. I wanted to take an opportunity to kind of explain a little more behind the scenes of what we've been going through. But back in May and June, we partnered up with Public Affairs, and we started evaluating how we work together and how we work in communion, and how we could improve our processes and procedures. This effort included a whole host of new strategies, including development of new titles and job descriptions that better matched what we were trying to do. And so we came up with a new job title for some of those in our group called Event Attendant. They're assigned to a very important role with a primary focus placed on exceptional customer service while providing a welcoming and wonderful experience for those who use our city facilities, including the community center, Civic Center, and the North Center complexes. As we embark on this new process and new journey, we look forward to new benchmarks for the group with improved services and opportunities to positively impact the Schertz community. So Joe is here to present the two new family members to our team.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Management Team. Our first person up is Karis Kempen. She is an event attendant who started October 17th. She was born Fort Sam, Houston, raised here in Schertz. She's a graduate of Samuel Clemens, class of 1998. She lived in Hondo for about a year. Her goal was to bring her daughter back to Schertz to experience the family-first community that's here in Schertz. Her daughter is 11. She attends Wilder Intermediate School. Her grandparents, parents, and herself and her daughter reside here in Schertz as well. She attended San Antonio College for photojournalism with an emphasis on sports photography. Her hobbies are hunting, fishing, and being outdoors. This year, she shot her first buck, then 2 days later, her daughter shot hers. Her daughter's buck scored 2 inches better than hers, and she won't let her forget it either. So, welcome aboard. Our next staff member is Blanca Ramirez. She is also an event attendant who started October 17th. She actually started working with the General Services Department back in May to assist us on the weekend and nightly events at our events facilities. She began to enjoy working with the city and the staff that she came across. She loves the job that she does, and she enjoys keeping busy. She was born and raised in Crystal City. She attended Crystal City High School. She moved to Cibolo in November of 2012. She is one of 7 siblings. She has 4 daughters, 9 grandkids, and loves being a grandma. In her free time, she enjoys family gatherings, going to casinos, and watching novelas. So welcome aboard, Blanca.
Welcome. So, ladies, I typically allow new employees to have the microphone if you like. So, would either one of you like to say hello, have a commentary? Neither one? Neither one? Well, welcome to both of you, and hope you have a long career here with us at the City of Schertz. We're very happy to have both of you with us. Thank you for joining us. Mr.
Blanca, was that you? Were you working this weekend over at the Filipino Adobo Festival? I thought I saw you. I watched you from a distance, and I thought, wow, she's really working well. Thank you so much. You know, those little small things, you think they go unnoticed, but when we're in the crowd, we do see you guys doing your work, and thank you again. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, and welcome both of you. Glad to have you with us. All right, before we move on to a couple of proclamations, I want to recognize some Boy Scouts that we have in the gallery with us today. We have Raymond Guidry and Kyle Terillian from Troop 51, and we have Cub Scout Jacob Terillian from Troop 343. Welcome. Glad to have you all with us this evening. You getting a citizenship badge this evening? What you working on? Is that right, or is it something different? Communications. Cool. You picked a good meeting to join us this evening. It's a relatively short agenda. You did well. Next thing we have on the agenda, I have two proclamations that I need to read, and am happy to read. I'm going to come down to the podium and do just that, so hold on just a second. And again, my apologies for being a little, I feel kind of naked without a sport coat on today. I'm not used to that at all. All right, so the first one that I have is for Municipal Court Week. Our municipal court, it provides an indispensable service in the city of Schertz. We have grown so much. As much as we've tried to control growth and keep it to a dull roar, the sheer amount of traffic, the things that occur that go on in the city of Schertz have to be dealt with by our court. The volumes have gone up so much, and our court has not missed a beat. And it's been change after change after change over the last, even just 10 years or so, and y'all have weathered it extremely well. So I'll go ahead and read this proclamation, if I may. And it reads, whereas municipal courts play a significant role in preserving public safety and promoting quality of life in Texas, and whereas more people come in contact with municipal courts than all other Texas courts combined, and public impression of the Texas judicial system is largely dependent upon the public's experience in municipal court. And whereas state law authorizes a municipality to either appoint or elect a municipal judge for a term of office, the Schertz Municipal Court is a state court, and its judges are members of the state judiciary. Whereas the city of Schertz is committed to the notion that our legal system is based on the principle that an independent, fair, and competent judiciary will interpret and apply the laws that govern us, and that judges and court personnel should comply with the law and act in a manner that promotes public confidence in the integrity and impartiality of the judiciary. And whereas Schertz municipal judges are not policymakers for the city of Schertz, but are bound by the law and the canons of judicial conduct and are required to make decisions independent of the governing body of the city council, city officials, and employees. And whereas the city council recognizes that the Constitution and laws of the state of Texas contain procedural safeguards in criminal cases for all defendants, including indigent defendants, and supports the Schertz Municipal Court in complying with such legal requirements. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, that the week of November 7 to 11, 2016, is hereby recognized as Municipal Court Week in recognition of the fair and impartial justice offered to our citizens by the Municipal Court of Schertz. All right, I have one more proclamation to read this evening. And this is one that it's close to home for the city of Schertz, as we've had an employee that was with us several years ago who has now moved on and is gainfully employed elsewhere, who was actually struck by this disease. And we all got to witness firsthand what it can be. And so I'd like to read this one, if I may. And it says, whereas in 2016, an estimated 53,070 people in the United States will be diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, one of the deadliest cancers, and 41,780 will die from the disease. And whereas pancreatic cancer surpassed breast cancer this year to become the third leading cause of cancer death in the United States, and is projected to become the second leading cause by 2020. And whereas pancreatic cancer is the only major cancer with a 5-year relative survival rate in the single digits at just 8%. And whereas the symptoms of pancreatic cancer present themselves, it is generally in later stages, and 71% of pancreatic cancer patients die within the first year of their diagnosis, whereas approximately 2,650 deaths will occur in Texas in 2016, whereas pancreatic cancer is the 7th most common cause of cancer-related death in men and women across the world, and whereas there will be an estimated 418,451 new pancreatic cancer cases diagnosed worldwide by 2020, and whereas the good health and well-being of the residents of the city of Schertz are enhanced as a direct result of increased awareness about pancreatic cancer and research into early detection, causes, and effective treatments, therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas designates November 17, 2016 as World Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Day in the city of Schertz. Is there anyone here to receive this evening? I'll join.
Just to give you an idea, there's a Fight Pancreatic Cancer, November 12, 2016. I want to thank the mayor for allowing me to say that. A lot of things that people don't understand about pancreatic cancer, it's one of the toughest to determine. I had my son's father-in-law 2 years ago was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer probably a month before he passed away. So it's a very difficult one to determine, very difficult one to fight. And as the mayor had said, I believe the amount was like 8% or something like that you mentioned. So please remember that a lot of things are being done now, and that we are working on something to help out in finding out about the pancreatic cancer syndromes, as it were, and symptoms. Susan, did you want to say anything?
Just that I am a 12-year pancreatic cancer survivor. My dad died of it when he was 60 years old, and he lived 8 months. So I was one of the lucky ones, and we just can't send people home saying, get your affairs in order. We need to find something. We need to help patients, and that's what we do. We wage hope, and we have our walk coming up November 12th at Retama. So if anyone wants to join us, it's Purple Stride. And thank you for letting us be here.
All right, the next item on the agenda this evening is city events and announcements, and first item is announcements of upcoming city events. Mr. Waite, Mr. James, Mr. James.
Thank you. Just to let everybody know, tomorrow, November 2nd at 3 p.m. In Building 1, and it's actually right at the back of Building 1, there's a small courtyard. A local Girl Scout troop renovated the garden there by planting pollinator-friendly species and got the garden certified as a Monarch Way Station as part of a Silver Award project. So 3 o'clock tomorrow, if you can come out, we'd love to have folks. That's a little courtyard right at the back entrance of Building 1 over here. On Thursday, November 3rd, we're having a sneak peek of the new pool. The public is all welcome for that. It's from 5 to 7 p.m. You can just show up anytime during that period and kind of get a walkthrough and see what the facility looks like as we're wrapping it up. Friday, November 4th is the annual Hal Baldwin Golf Tournament. That's at Olympia Hills Golf and Event Center, 8 a.m. check-in, 10 a.m. shotgun start. Anybody on council who wants to go, contact the city secretary's office. Tuesday, November 8th, no council meeting due to the election. Wednesday, November 9th, there's a blood drive, 8 a.m. to noon in the parking lot out here. You can call Kelly Burnham at 1430 for more information. Thursday, November 10th, Northeast Partnership meeting occurs. That's Olympia Hills Golf and Conference Center, 11:30 a.m. Friday, November 11th, the city offices are closed in observance of Veterans Day, and there is a Veterans Day ceremony at 9 that Maggie, I think, will tell us a little more about. Saturday, November 12th, there is no excuse for folks not to get out and exercise in addition to the run that was just mentioned. At 8 a.m. at Northeast Lakeview, there's a 5K that begins at 9 a.m. Again, certainly folks can sign up and donate for both causes and pick which one you want to go to. Monday, November 21st, we are having a special called council meeting at 6 a.m. Or 6 p.m. rather, to canvass the election results and to hold council orientation. There will not be a meeting on the 22nd. Yeah, sorry, we're not getting y'all up that early.
Nope.
6 p.m. on the 21st. And just as a reminder for folks, early voting continues for the next few days through November 4th. Election day is November 8th. Information on early voting sites as well as election sites can be found on the banners on the city's website.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. James. Next item on the agenda, announcements and recognitions by the city manager, Mr. Kessel. Mr. Kessel?
Mayor, Council, I've got 3 items I wanted to share. I'll try and make them quick, but I tend to talk a lot, so we'll see how that goes. We had a really nice email from someone from the Trunk or Treat this weekend, and that was down at Pickerel Park. And he says that his son loves emergency vehicles and was attracted to a police cruiser in the control of Sergeant John Eisen. And I think most of council's probably met Sergeant Eisen. Sergeant Eisen was monitoring traffic at the gate, not assigned to meet and greet. But he was approached by this gentleman's son, and Sergeant Eisen greeted him and posed for a photo. And then he goes on to say, actions such as this go a long way to creating a better relation with the public and those who police them. John showed the great character, and I felt obligated to share. But I think more importantly is the actual photos of that. So I'm going to start on my left, and then I'll pass them back to my right. And then while I'm doing that, the second item is one of our animal control officers, and it's a really interesting story. David Taylor is our officer, and he had received a phone call from a gentleman in one of our neighborhoods about 4 stray dogs. And as you know, a stray dog is very difficult to catch, but 4 of them running loose, you kind of go after one, and then the other 3 go in their own direction. So Officer Taylor showed up very quickly, talked to the gentleman, and he actually caught the first 2 dogs. And the gentleman writes that he thanked Officer Taylor for the quick response. He said that he'd looked for the other dogs, and the citizen managed to spot a dog and then followed him and called back in. And then our animal control officer, went back out there, and they were able to locate the dog. They ended up chasing the dog in the heat, and Officer Taylor chased the dog, I believe, to exhaustion, because the dog finally took shelter underneath the animal control truck. to get some shade. Humorous, right? And they were able to catch the third dog. They're still looking for the fourth dog, but the gentleman said he couldn't believe that he made one phone call about 4 different dogs, and within an hour they had caught all of them, and one in pretty spectacular fashion. So thank you to David. I was in a class with David. I sat next to him in a first aid class that we're providing for all of our city employees, and he's a very humble city employee. He's not the kind that would brag. He probably wouldn't want us to talk about him at council, but we're doing it anyway because he deserves it. And then the third item, and I don't think I brought this up already, Brenda, but Ms. Dennis really had a nice Spotlight on Success article written about her in the International Institute of Municipal Clerks. And I didn't want that to go unnoticed by the City Council. This is a very prestigious organization. She is a member. Not every city secretary can be a member. There's quite a bit there. And what I like best is that she really talks about our community in this. So she didn't just make it a spotlight about her. Ms. Dennis took it as an opportunity to make it a spotlight about the city of Schertz and some of the neat things that we do with our community. And you'll be able to see that in the article that'll be passed around. So congratulations, Brenda.
Very nice. Very nice. Make sure you pass that down my way when you're finished. It's all good stuff. All right, next item that we have on the agenda this evening, we have the hearing of residents, and the only person to sign up this evening is Maggie Titterington from the Chamber. So we've got an update for us this evening.
Turn this around.
Oh, sorry, I left that. Didn't put the thing back where I
Okay.
found it.
Good evening, gentlemen. Yes, we do have some more good news. Was at the ribbon cutting of Founders Classical Academy today. Want to thank Mayor Pro Tem Edwards and also Councilman Fowler for coming out. I am just excited that Shekinah got to be, and I hate to say repurposed, but in a way it was repurposed because that's a really great location for this charter school. We got to take a tour. The classical education that they're doing for these children they're teaching them from Greek basics, Latin. It was just amazing to walk through there and hear how the teachers were talking to the students. We actually went into one classroom, and I guess the young man was the classroom monitor for any guests that walk in. And as we were all standing in the back of the room, he came forward in very hushed tones and introduced himself as the monitor of the classroom. He was very pleased that we were there and went on down the line for all 12 people. It was so sweet. And he sat back down and just resumed his classroom, his schedule. But it was a really great ribbon cutting. They were so pleased to have the city officials out. And I have to say, I am looking forward to, once the elections are over and the new council are seated, I hope the participation that has been happening in the past continues to happen because it means so much to these businesses coming into Schertz to see the presence of the Mayor Pro Tem and the Mayor and councilmen there to celebrate it. It really brings it home for them. So thank you all so much for coming out to that. Also, as Mr. James had spoken about, our MAC committee is doing, in cooperation with the City of Schertz and the VFW, the Veterans Memorial Plaza ceremony. It's at 9 a.m., and we just secured Founders Classical Academy, the choir that sang, is going to be singing. I am so ashamed to know that I did not know there were 3 stanzas to the Star-Spangled Banner. They sang all 3. Oh, there's 4. Mr. Edwards says there's 4. They sang 3 of them by memorization, and it was awesome. It was really awesome. So they will be performing at the Plaza ceremony. That is at 9 a.m. We figure it'll probably be about 45 minutes long. So please come out if you can. That's November 11th. And then just very quickly, I know I sent this on, and Brenda probably put it in your packet, but the last quarter results for the visitor center were very pleased. We had almost 500 visitors walk in that 3-month period. But the thing that really got us was the online presence. In 3 months' time for residential relocation, we increased 31% from the last quarter and had almost 5,100 hits. And those are people looking to live here, assisted living, apartments, housing, real estate. In tourism and restaurants and retail, we increased 73% from the last 3 months. And so online business directory searches were almost 12,000 hits in 3 months. That is incredible. And then now what that includes is hotel, travel, entertainment, our library, our restaurants, catering, food, anything having to do with tourism and visiting this city. Almost 12,000 hits in 3 months. And then total impressions for the last quarter was almost 17,000, which is a 61% increase. So it is crazy good. So if you can take more crazy good news, that is crazy good that in 3 months' time that we have that much visibility for the city of Schertz, our businesses, people wanting to come live here, and I just see it increasing more and more. So anyways, that's all I have. Thank you.
Great news. Thank you, Maggie. That's amazing numbers. Wow. I remember when we started and we were, hey, we hit 1,000 for a month. Come a long way. All right, next thing that we have on the agenda this evening, we have the consent agenda items. And item number 1, the minutes. Consideration or action regarding the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of October 25th, 2016. Item number 2, boards, commissions, committee appointments, and ratifying the appointment of Mr. John Sullivan as a regular member to the Transportation Safety Advisory Commission. Item number 3, ordinance 16T36, an ordinance by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, authorizing a budget adjustment to fund street crossing improvements on El Bell Road, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance, and providing an effective date. Gentlemen, any of these that need to be pulled and considered individually?
Second.
I have a motion for Mr. Zuz, seconded by Mr. Fowler, to approve the items on consent. Any other comments or questions from council? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
I have 5 ayes and no nays. The motion carries. The items on consent are passed. Next item is item number 4, Resolution 16R84, a resolution by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, authorizing expenditures not to exceed $86,000 with TAPCO Incorporated for crosswalks and other related equipment for the street improvements project on El Bell Road and other matters in connection therewith. Very good. Mr. Ledbetter, good evening.
Good evening. We just spoke about it. Last week I was here talking to y'all about the funding for those lights.
Indeed.
It was just passed. This week here I'm here to seek the authorization of council to exceed the $50,000 with one company. That will be a not to exceed amount of $81,000 for the project. The other $5,000 is for street clamps that are needed on FM 3009 and FM 78. That would be the additional $5,000. Community benefit of this, provide a best value for the city and the residents for the crosswalks and other related parts and equipment for the sign improvements and the safety of all people using these crosswalks.
Very good. Gentlemen, any questions for Mr. Ledbetter on this one? Mr. Zeus?
How long this process is going to take before we get it all done and in effect?
After this is said and done, I will order the stuff. It'll take about a month to get in. In the meantime, I'm going to have the concrete work done. Everything I can get done, I would say everything goes right, within a month and a half, they should be up and working.
Very good, reasonable.
So around the Christmas holidays, you'll have this ready?
Sorry?
Right before the Christmas holidays.
I'm hoping, yes, sir.
So, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve Resolution 16R84.
Second.
I have a motion from Mr. Edwards, a second from Mr. Thompson. Any other comments or questions from council? Hearing none, then I'll call for a vote.
Aye.
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 5 ayes and no nays. The motion carries. All right. Thank you, sir. Item number 5, Resolution 16R83, a resolution by the City Council of the City of Schertz, Texas, authorizing a program and expenditures as provided for in the Economic Development Incentive Agreement between the City of Schertz, Texas Economic Development Corporation and Advanced Stores Company Incorporated and other matters in connection therewith. Brother Kyle, how are you this evening?
Good. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I come before you this morning as a follow-up to the Economic Development Corporation's board meeting that we had last Thursday, where the Economic Development Corporation reviewed an incentive agreement that is between Advanced Stores Company and the EDC. This is an incentive that is 100% being contributed and paid through the Economic Development Corporation, which is different from what we have done in previous incentive deals at the city, and that previously we've structured them under a different program where a portion of the funds have come from the general fund. And so, as one of the things that I want to highlight about this program today is that this is 100% from the Economic Development Corporation, which allows all of the benefit that comes from the project to be received by the city that the city can use as part of their general fund. So the EDC met on the 27th where a motion was made by the board to recommend approval by the city council to authorize a program and expenditures and to authorize the board president to execute the agreement. And so the council is required to authorize the program and the expenditures associated with the Economic Development Incentive Agreement. Advanced Stores Company is considering a facility on Dewar Lane where they would occupy 213,000 square feet. This is a speculative building that is being constructed on Dewar Lane. As you're headed towards Garden Ridge, it is the one just past Caterpillar on your left-hand side. So they would take the entire facility. They would operate that facility for 10 years, and as part of their lease, they'd have the ability to extend that for 2 additional 5-year terms at a pre-negotiated rate. As part of the project, they would bring 100 jobs to the facility, and they would also have a minimum of $2.4 million annually in payroll. As part of the project, they would be required to have $32,276,670 on the tax rolls. And so this is where we start to see the benefit that comes to the city of Schertz that then generates property tax revenue that is used by the general fund. So by so doing, the EDC would participate in an economic development incentive where they would provide a $150,000 cash grant as soon as the company received their certificate of occupancy and started operations within the city of Schertz. The company would also be required to operate their warehouse distribution operation for a period of 6 years, during which time we would use the real and personal property tax rolls as a basis for an ongoing annual grant. For the first 3 years, the company would receive 65% if they met those job requirements, the wage requirements, and also the minimum taxable property requirements. Then they would also have the ability in an additional 3 years to receive 50% of that property value. One of the things that we also did as part of this agreement, realizing that the more taxable value that the company has on the Schertz rolls, that it benefits the city, we created an additional option where if the company exceeded their investment to some higher thresholds, that's roughly 22% higher, they would have the ability to receive 5% additional on their reimbursement. So for that, under that case, under the first 3 years, they could receive 70%, and under the second 3 years, they would have the ability to receive 55%. As part of the agreement, the company, Advanced Stores Company, would be required to execute their lease within 32 days. And so this is an offer that they will have, and it will be in place for them to execute that lease before the incentive takes full effect. Are there any questions that the council has that I may be able to answer?
Gentlemen, questions? Mr. Zeus?
Executing the lease, I'm just going to walk backwards.
Sure.
From where you stopped. Executing the lease within 32 days. Once we agree on that this evening, or
So tonight's action would authorize the program and expenditures of funds. It would also authorize the board president to execute the agreement. We then would have acted on our part. It would be up to the company to execute the lease on their time. They then have 32 days to execute that lease.
Okay, and then the other question is, when would they be able to obtain a certificate of occupancy?
So they will have until the 2018 calendar year to receive the certificate of occupancy. So they have plenty of time. As part of the process, they'll obviously be putting in a lot of machinery and equipment. They'll have just in personal property, $22.8 million in personal property, and so they'll have to put in their conveyor systems that they can do before they're operational, even though, we look out there and we see the building quite close to completion.
Almost done, yeah. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to approve 16R83.
Second.
I have a motion from Mr. Azouz, a second from Mr. Thompson. Any other comments or questions from council? Mr. Fowler?
There's something I think might be in other people's mind, and listen to you say, okay, you're taking some of that money that from the hot taxes
From sales tax.
sales taxes that you get, and so those we have enough built up in the fund that we can do this, and it takes a burden away from our general fund, but at the same time, it still allows you to continue to receive income that's coming from sales tax that will even include the company that is being brought in. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. I only want to make sure I had that correct. Thank you.
Anyone else? Mr. Thompson?
No questions, just excellent work. Continue to keep it up, and we're looking forward to seeing you before the dais many such times.
Thank you.
We'll have a motion and a second. I'll call for a vote.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
At 5 ayes and no nays, the motion carries. Sneaking into our meeting back here in the back of the gallery of County Attorney Dave Wilburn and Precinct 3 Constable Michael Skrabarchuk. Thanks for joining us, gentlemen. Glad to have you with us. Good. Short schedule tonight, not much left for you. And if you're here for dinner, you're late. Next item we have on the agenda is a roll call vote confirmation. Mrs. Dennis.
Consent agenda items 1 through 3. Motion was made by Councilmember Azouz, seconded by Councilmember Fowler. Mayor Pro Tem Edwards, Councilmembers Fowler, Azouz, John, Thompson voted yes. No one voted no. Motion passed. Item number 4, resolution number 16R84. Motion was made by Mayor Pro Tem Edwards, seconded by Councilmember Thompson. Mayor Pro Tem Edwards, Councilmembers Fowler, Azouz, John, Thompson voted yes. No one voted no. Motion passed. Item number 5, 16R83. Motion was made by Councilmember Azouz, seconded by Councilmember Thompson. Mayor Pro Tem Edwards, Councilmembers Fowler, Azouz, John, Thompson voted yes. No one voted no. Motion passed.
Very good. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Kessel says he has nothing further as far as announcements by the city manager, so we'll go to item number 7, which are requests for agendas, future agenda items for our council meetings. Gentlemen, anything that we need to have on a future agenda that we currently don't have scheduled? Appears that we do not have any. Next item is item number 8, announcements by the mayor and council members, and we'll start with Mayor Pro Tem Edwards.
Mr. Mayor, I want to echo the sentiments of what Maggie Titterton said about the Founders Academy. It was a wonderful event, and I too felt a little embarrassed that I did not know all the stanzas of the Star Spangled Banner. Great event this morning. Thank you.
Very good. Mr. Fowler.
I was there too, and I have to admit that was probably the most formal dedication I think I have ever been to in the 10 years I've been here. But like you said, you're talking about what are they learning? Some of the fundamental things that our founders was taught. Latin, even some Greek. Geography would be another one that I think none of our classes anymore teach geography. But I thought that was a great event. Also, I just want to talk about, just for a second, the phenomena of a Saturday night at the Pickerel Park. I think we saw an event that no one on staff or I could even dream of seeing happen. The number of people that came out was almost mind-boggling, you know. And I know it had to change how we did the judging. There were so many people. But the thing that I noticed, that everybody was patient. There was nice conversation going on among people, among friends, I suppose. But the event itself seemed to take on a type of life that we have not seen. I looked at the line of people that were coming in. I looked at that same, the line itself, but different people, but the line was still there for almost 2 hours. So it just kept coming. We've hit a nerve, to me, in a way that has not been, that we have not explored. But I think I saw a community that was just glad to be there. But I hope next year that we take the opportunity of trying to find out what happened, what clicked. And let's continue to do that. That was great. Thank you.
Very good. Mr. Zeus? No? Mr. John? Mr. Thompson?
I too want to add my comments about the Founders Classical Academy. Two things. I was able to go on a tour afterwards. Two things that impressed me. Number one, they have a painting of their logo, you might call it, on the wall. And it takes after the ancient Greek hoplites, the shield that they would carry. And the soldiers were taught you either bring your shield home or you come home dead on it. But they use that with a variety of things to teach duty, honor, and character. Tremendous assets. One thing that impressed me when we went through the classrooms, we went into 3 different classrooms. And you would think that a group of 12 to 15 adults would cause a commotion in the classroom. In each classroom, when we walked in there, not one single student looked at us. Every single student was focused on the teacher and what was being taught. So I feel like this is a great asset to our community, and as iron sharpens iron, this is going to be a great run and help improve SUISD in the process as well. So great job.
Very good. I don't have anything to add, and if there's nothing else from staff or from council, then we stand adjourned.